Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Chaskin on Chain. Today we venture into the realm of social networks with a twist. Enter Farcaster, the decentralized social network. At its core, Farcaster is not just another social platform, but a robust, open protocol reminiscent of email, a decentralized system that's been our digital postman for decades. Today you could seamlessly switch between email providers like Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, transferring every single email and contact. But imagine if you could do the same with social media, hopping from one platform to another, while retaining all of your followers and digital identity. That's the vision of Farcaster. Developers will revel in the freedom Farcaster offers. The protocol elegantly handles the intricacies of user identity and data management, letting developers focus on what they do best, creating. Meanwhile, users are bestowed with control unparalleled in today's social media landscape. Your account, your identity, your data are all firmly in your hands. Dive into any Farcaster-based application, and when the winds of digital preference change, switch without a hitch. Let's do this.
Zero Dragons!
Let's dive into the two main problems Farcaster seeks to address. The first, audience ownership. In the current ecosystem, platforms like YouTube or Twitter can rug pull creators. A glitch, a policy change, or even a mistaken identity, and boom, your followers, your digital family, cultivated over years, can vanquish overnight. It's like building your dream house on rented land, and the landowner can evict you anytime without recourse. Think about it, creators hinge their livelihoods on these platforms. An unexpected loss can be devastating. Farcaster changes this paradigm. Drawing a parallel to email newsletters where you have sovereign control over your subscriber list, Farcaster ensures creators truly own their audience. The second challenge? Creation of an open API. Once upon a time, Twitter flourished in an ecosystem teamed with third-party apps. Icons like Tweetbot and Tweety were not just apps, they were pioneers shaping core features we now take for granted. Did you know that the pull to refresh feature on Twitter was an innovation from Tweety? But around 2014, the gates were closed. Twitter's open API, once a fertile ground for innovation, was constrained. The reason? The quest for ad revenue, which clashed with the free spirit of third-party apps. Farcaster aims to resurrect that spirit, championing a system where access to the API is truly permissionless. It's a playground for innovation, unhindered by corporate change. Farcaster's mission is evident. Build a world where you can't be arbitrarily disconnected from your audience, and where innovation isn't stifled but celebrated. A world where creators can flourish, developers can innovate, and users can truly own their digital identities. Stay tuned as we explore the nuances of Farcaster, its vision, its promise, and its impact on the future of social networking. To help us better understand the philosophy behind Farcaster, let's start with its co-founders, Varun Srinivasan and Dan Romero. Both Varun and Dan previously were directors at Coinbase and bring a wealth of experience to the table. Their goal for Farcaster was simple: to create a project with lasting impact. For the initial 18 months, Varun and Dan funded Farcaster on their own. This wasn't due to a lack of investor interest, but was a decision made to shape the platform according to their vision. When they did seek external capital, it was to scale the team and to prepare for market fluctuations. They successfully secured $30 million in funding shortly before the recent market downturn. Their discussions with investors emphasized a commitment to the Farcaster protocol in the long run. Although their company, Merkle Manufacturing, currently holds a significant market share, Farcaster aspires to reach a larger user base. The aim is to show the developer community how hubs can provide equitable access to data and APIs. I'll delve into what these hubs are in more detail later. While they've managed to raise significant capital and are one of the first in the ecosystem, the co-founders emphasize their primary focus remains on supporting the ecosystem's health. Their strategy includes features that support developers and allow easy transition between Farcaster applications. The goal is to reach 1 billion users, so even if Merkle only retains 10% of that market, that's still a potential user base of 100 million people. Modeling after Facebook's early strategy, Farcaster has chosen to initiate with a selective invite-only approach. Technically speaking, Farcaster currently operates on the Ethereum testnet Goerli, with plans to launch on mainnet later this year and transition to a fully permissionless system. At its foundation, Farcaster is an open protocol, comparable in ethos to the likes like Ethereum. Picture the vast landscape of Ethereum. If you wish to develop a competitor to MetaMask, there isn't a bureaucratic process that favors the first mover. Instead, the platform allows for the birth of various wallets like Rainbow or Coinbase Wallet. This inclusiveness doesn't weaken Ethereum, rather fortifies it. Farcaster aspires to the same robust versatility. Contrast this open ecosystem with the likes of Facebook or Instagram. Here, an ocean of user data is barricaded behind walls, with external developers having restricted access. Such platforms curtail the vast potentials for third-party innovation. However, Farcaster champions a different narrative. It empowers developers to freely access data and innovate, thereby ushering a new wave of applications and services. This ensures that apps are vying for user attention based on their features, not merely distribution or proprietary lockings. Twitter's advantage with Spaces over Clubhouse wasn't that it was a superior product, but rather it had a larger distribution. The audience was already vast on Twitter, making it the preferable choice. With Farcaster, if somebody replicates a popular app in the Farcaster ecosystem, they can't solely ride on the wave of initial success. They'll need to constantly innovate and improve because distribution is at the protocol level. Users get the best of both worlds, choosing a client based on features without compromising on distribution. This model challenges monopolistic tendencies. We've seen how open and permissionless blockchains level the field in platforms like Coinbase. Since blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum are universal, platforms like Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance and others essentially offer access to the same core product. This open environment mandates that platforms compete on the merits of trust, features, and user experience. They can't monopolize access or offer proprietary versions of the blockchain. Similarly, Farcaster's open and permissionless nature ensures that platforms built on it must continuously innovate and earn users' trust. Where on platforms like Twitter, users often feel trapped, especially when undesirable changes are imposed on them. Farcaster's vision is to merge the unparalleled user experience of centralized platforms with the liberating autonomy of decentralization. In essence, users should have the freedom to transition platforms without fear of losing their followers. This decentralized approach offers an assurance of consistent choice, striking a balance between freedom and convenience. Now let's venture into the heart of Farcaster and see how it technically addresses some of its core challenges as it stands in July 2023. Keep in mind that with the pace of change in the protocol, their website remains the best source for updated information. In today's digital age, our identities play a pivotal role. Imagine your digital persona, a unique identifier, display name, profile picture, verification, and more all bundled together to validate your virtual presence. While this identity bundle ensures you're recognized for who you are, it also presents a challenge. In a decentralized platform like Farcaster, identities must remain portable across different apps and should remain under users' control. Farcaster's answer is the introduction of the FID, a unique numerical identifier for each user created through a smart contract. It's akin to a decentralized social security number, distinct and lifelong. However, tagging someone with a numerical identifier, say @143534, isn't always intuitive. Therefore, users can link an easily memorable username to their FID. With the protocol's imminent mainnet launch, acquiring an FID comes with an approximate charge of $5, attributed to the storage space on hubs, while usernames have no extra charge. It's worth noting that while FIDs symbolize the spirit of decentralization by riding on Ethereum, the username system begins its journey centralized. Though plans are afoot to shift to a decentralized model, and in embracing an expansive ecosystem, Farcaster will support ENS usernames. Added security layers include options to transfer FIDs and assign recovery addresses. In the intricate world of communication, message authenticity is crucial. Consider a scenario where Alice sends you a message. The primary challenge is to be certain that the message genuinely comes from Alice. This assertion is rooted in a series of authenticated messages. To explain, a user will initially sign a message associated with their FID, granting permission to a new address, possibly from another device, to communicate on their behalf. The underlying rationale? Users might interact with various Farcaster apps across different devices. They wouldn't want to transfer the private key from their primary FID associated address to every device. Each application creates a distinct key pair locally on the device. So when Alice wants a particular application to communicate for her, she signs a message with her primary FID address, effectively delegating this authority to a new app-specific key pair. Now, if Bob receives a message from Alice through an app, he can verify its authenticity in 2 steps. First, by checking the endorsement through Alice's primary FID address, and then by confirming the message sent from the new authorized address. By meticulously preserving this authentication sequence, the true origins of messages are consistently verified. For Farcaster's ambitious vision to be realized, there's another hurdle: ensuring consistent data availability across apps. This consistency guarantees that when an app joins the Farcaster ecosystem, it can seamlessly integrate pre-existing messages and data. Farcaster Hub emerges as a beacon in this challenge. It's similar to an Ethereum node, but fine-tuned for Farcaster's unique needs. The overarching goal is to have around 100 independent hubs, each holding the network's entire social graph. As of now, 30 such hubs are functional. When different hubs communicate, they exchange each other's messages, ensuring both data integrity and consistent availability. Given the sheer volume of data, storage per user is capped at 10,000 CAS. Farcaster is analog to tweets. This may seem restrictive at first glance, but upside is the permissionless nature of data. Users have the liberty to back up their data on platforms like Arweave or IPFS. Lastly, in a decentralized landscape, one cannot underestimate the significance of data consistency. A decentralized system cannot afford to have disparities, where one application verifies an action while another negates it. Farcaster's innovative approach to this dilemma comprises of delta graphs coupled with a merge function, although a deep dive into this mechanism extends beyond the scope of this video. The company Dan and Varun co-founded, Merkle Manufactory, is leading the development of the Farcaster protocol and its leading client, Warpcast. At its core, Warpcast mirrors Twitter, offering users a feed of short messages, or casts, from the individuals they choose to follow, with the addition of highlighted casts for broader discovery. A standout feature of Warpcast is its channels. These are specialized streams focused on particular topics or themes. Whether it's memes, podcasts, books, or LA, there's a channel for it, with more channels coming soon. Users are free to share and explore casts within these spaces. To maintain clarity in the main feed, these posts remain confined to their respective channels. This design brings together the best aspects of both Reddit and Twitter. The initial user base is targeted towards the crypto community, and this is no coincidence. Merkle's strategic decision to prioritize crypto enthusiasts serves two purposes. Firstly, they're banking on the belief that more individuals will migrate on-chain as the technology gains traction. Secondly, by targeting a niche, passionate community first, they aim to establish a dedicated and engaged initial user base. One noteworthy point is the intellectual depths of conversation on Warpcast, making it a hub for meaningful discourse. Warpcast offers features crypto natives will love. Users can view text-based posts from their network alongside insights into real-time blockchain activities, like seeing a user minted an NFT. It's a seamless blend of discourse and blockchain action. Plus, there's a segment where users can explore the latest and top NFTs created by users on the Farcaster network. They can even see the like button change to GM if the user mentions GM somewhere in their casts. The team prioritizes efficiency and user experience. They're aiming to conduct minimal operations on-chain, focusing on high usability and keeping expenses low. They differ from other decentralized social platforms because they believe over time they will have the correct level of decentralization. Building apps on federated systems can be daunting, particularly when considering the integration across countless servers. This can result in inconsistencies and challenges in achieving a global state of data. In contrast, blockchains, despite their costs, offer a unified state upon each block's confirmation. Farcaster attempts to merge these worlds, offering the best of both. By utilizing hubs, data remains off-chain, ensuring affordability. These hubs rapidly synchronize the global network state. This facilitates a seamless developer experience where one can set up a hub and instantly access the network's comprehensive data. In essence, Farcaster's philosophy hinges on a decentralized identity system coupled with a friendly developer environment. It endeavors to strike to balance between the benefits of on-chain operations and the user-centric demands of modern-day applications. Earlier in the video, I mentioned the $5 fee users need to pay to secure an FID. You might have been asking, where does that money go? It's directed straight to the protocol's treasury. This mechanism will pave the way for a dependable annual revenue stream, a feature noticeably absent in revolutionary systems like email or DNS. The drawback with these older systems? Over time, they fell under the control of major internet conglomerates. Having a steady stream of revenue is game-changing. It means the protocol could finance its operations, reducing its reliance on primary backers like Merkle Manufactory. The long-haul vision is achieving full protocol autonomy. Imagine a world where a protocol isn't just self-sustaining, but also self-governing. This ushers in two profound advantages. The first is independence. With its own revenue, the protocol can make decisions that stay true to its founding principles, uninfluenced by major stakeholders. There's also a clear path to influence. A transparent, decentralized governance system offers a straightforward way for participants to make an impact. This contrasts with today's tech landscapes where behemoths like Microsoft, Apple, and Google could hypothetically conspire on what features to add or omit from their software. A historic example of this power play? Reports suggest that during Steve Jobs' leadership, top tech firms had agreements to avoid poaching each other's talent. The Farcaster team believes in a future where public goods backed by a transparent funding source outshine the status quo. How does a decentralized system handle issues like spam and content moderation? Think about how Gmail filters off unwanted messages. It happens at the client level. Similarly, client-level features in decentralized platforms can set the criteria for acceptable content. Just as ad blockers in web browsers allow users to choose which ads they want to see or block, or how email platforms like Gmail ward off spam. The trajectory for content moderation seems to be leaning towards decentralized client-based decisions. Ideally, platforms won't be the sole entities responsible for hosting, identity, and distribution. Instead, envision a marketplace where various clients get to set their own moderation standards. While users likely want some degree of moderation, the availability of diverse solutions reframes it as filtering out noise rather than suppressing voices. As we step into this new era of decentralized platforms, a crucial challenge emerges for developers and companies: monetization. Gone are the days when user data was an easily exploited goldmine. With selling user information off the table, it's now up to the free market to innovate and find sustainable and ethical revenue models. Companies building clients on platforms like Farcaster will need to experiment, iterate, and discover novel ways to generate revenue. This transition not only pushes developers to think outside the box, but also champions the interests of the users, placing them at the center of the digital experience. It's an exciting time with a landscape ripe for ingenuity and enterprise. The race is on to determine who can offer value, maintain trust, and build a sustainable business in this new world order. The Farcaster model, as envisioned by Merkle Manufactory, is more than just a platform. It's a challenge and an invitation. And speaking of invitations, I'm genuinely excited to see what you all will create using Farcaster's open APIs. The potential for innovation is boundless, and the tools are now in your hands. Let's shape the future of decentralized social interactions together. As we navigate this transformative digital age, let's embrace platforms that align with our collective values and work towards an internet that's truly of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep casting your voice into the ether.